Exactly, that was also my... Så 5 minutter, så
Yeah.
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 I have to sneak in.
Okay, I'm stand here because otherwise I have to go whenever you have seen me, otherwise you will both look here and there. No manage. I'm Pia Heike Johansen. I'm a rural researcher, trained sociologist. I'm from the University of Southern Denmark at the Danish Center for Rural Research. And I know that this slide is in Danish. And I have some of them are in English, but I'm not sure whether the names are there. So we just shortly introduce the research team. And while I'm doing that, I will also reflect a little about this multifunctionality because when those 12 into this group, they joined, and that's this meeting, they at the same time decided that if they should spend 10 million kroners on this project, they want to have they want to measure how effectful is this land consolidation tool if we aim to do it multifunctional. And then they decided, what do we mean by multifunctional? So the multifunctional aspect, they think that has to do with nature conservation. So they asked Rasmus Akernes from Aarhus University, who is specialized in that, he's a biologist, to try to be an expert on this. And they asked Brian Kronwang, who is a scientist within environmental impact of agriculture or farming, as an expert. They asked Søren Præstholm, who is an expert from Copenhagen University in outdoor recreation. And they asked Jesper Søberskov, who is from Copenhagen University as well, and he is an expert in farm economics from farm level perspective. And then they asked me, and because they thought that rural development was an element of multifunctionality as well. So they define multifunctional as those inside those 5 fields, and they asked us to do several things actually, but first of all they asked us to make a small note and 2 pages where we describe from our perspective what is the potential of multifunctional land consolidation. I will translate it, or I will say it all in Danish, and all the slides will be in Danish. So, okay, it's yeah. But I just introduced the 5 of us, the 5 researchers, and I will do that very short in Danish, because what I said was that vi er 5 forskere, der er inviteret. En landdistriktsforsker, det er mig. Rasmus Akernes, som er biolog og ekspert i biodiversitet. Brian Kronwang, som er fra Aarhus Universitet og ekspert i miljøvurderinger. Søren Præstholm, som er fra Københavns Universitet og ekspert i rekreativ ophold til naturen. Og Jesper Søberskov, som er ekspert inden for bedriftsøkonomi. De bad os 5 om at byde ind, og på den måde så har de også defineret, hvad er det multifunktionelle. So each of us wrote this note, and they decided then to hire us to develop indicators for how to measure the impact of those land consolidation projects. But before that, they were able to find out what to measure. They have to find which areas are we going to, how are we going to find the area which is proper for a land consolidation project. So actually they also asked us to to sort of screen 5 areas. 5 municipalities has fit in with their suggestion, and the municipalities, they were very sort of, I think this area could be nice, but since the 5 of us were there, we pushed forward the municipalities to consider those 5 areas: biodiversity, rural development, environmental impact, recreational or outdoor recreation, and farm economics. They should consider that in their project description. And then we were asked to go through those 5 project descriptions and sort of qualify which of those the 5 was going to be 3. That was the 3 areas. And they didn't choose the areas which we actually thought was the best one for measuring multifunctional impact. They, for lots of reasons, they chose some other areas. But anyway, we're still here. Så de brugte vores, det redskab, vi udviklede, eller de bad os om at skrive et notat, hvor vi gjorde rede for, på hvilken måde kunne vi se en fordel ved multifunktionel jordfordeling. Og det gjorde vi så hver for sig, og ud for det blev vi ansat til at kvalificere udvælgelsen af 5 områder. 5 kommuner havde budt ind med nogle områder, de gerne ville have med i det her jordfordelingsprojekt, og vi vurderede, eller vi, altså ud fra de indikatorer, vi udviklede, de blev brugt til at kvalificere udvælgelsen af 3 områder. Det vil sige, at der er 2, der faldt væk. De valgte ikke de områder, som vi synes var optimale. De valgte af forskellige årsager nogle andre, nogle var sikkert også politiske årsager. So, what I'm trying to say here is that as for us as a researcher, it's very, very seldom that we get this opportunity to work interdisciplinary in this way we're doing here. It's really, we have such a fun. We have no competition because we don't have a clue about what we are talking about, but we need it because we have our own area of research. So it's a very, very funny learning process, and I think we have done we're doing very nice research. Så det jeg siger, det er, at det er meget, meget sjældent, at så 5 forskellige fagligheder får lov til at arbejde sammen inden for forskningsverdenen, og vi har det rigtig, rigtig sjovt, og vi får lavet noget rigtig, rigtig solidt forskning. One of the things that we quite early decided that was that we are not going to develop another interdisciplinary tool for measuring whatever, because it's very popular to develop interdisciplinary tools, which is typically not very interdisciplinary, but very economic interdisciplinary, because the whole idea is what is economic beneficial here, and not. So we decided from the start we were not going to develop another interdisciplinary fancy concept. We were going to stay in each our discipline, but we had to develop a common tool to operate in. So that is what we're doing. Så vi besluttede fra starten af, at vi ville ikke udvikle et eller andet smart, tværfagligt koncept, hvad forskere ofte gør, når de bliver sat sammen. Vi besluttede os til, at vi vil holde os til hver vores fagligheder, og ud fra det prøve at se, hvad vi kunne stykke sammen. Now I will go, this is all in Danish, but the last slide is in English. So I will just, so those who are not English speaking, you can see very fast. This is the 5 areas of measuring. Driftsøkonomi, miljøpåvirkning, landdistriktsudvikling, naturværdi og rekreativ værdi. Each of us
is the same as the one that you showed.
Yeah, it is, but she stole it from me.
Okay.
Because this is one of the first things that we developed.
Yeah.
So yeah, and but before we developed that, we decided inside each our disciplines we had to find 5 points of measuring the impact. And again, since det her det er driftøkonomi, og her der står, det er ejendomsværdien, transportudgifterne, kapacitetsøgningen, boniteten og dyrkningspotentialerne. Det er de 5 punkter, som Jesper valgte at måle driftøkonomi. Miljøpåvirkning, det er kvælstoftab, fosfattab, virkemidler, okkerforurening og miljøkvalitet. Rekreativ, det er adgangsmuligheder, stier, faciliteter, formidling, omfang og brugerkendskab til muligheder og værdier. Naturværdier, det er naturgenopretning, prioriteret lokalisering, sammenhæng og naturlig dynamik, beskyttelsesniveau og naturlig integration. Og mit eget felt, landdistriktsudvikling, er befolkningens sammensætning, liggetider på huse, salg, fællesskaber, livskvalitet og entreprenørskab. So, now I'm going to switch in English, because right there, wait a minute. Yeah, I have merged it in one way. So now I don't have to push the button so much.
This is where the art comes in.
Yeah, this is very artistic. Anyway, each of us decided that we should develop 5 points of measuring, which was typical inside our field of research. So the one in the top is biodiversity. So Rasmus wanted to make a measure on localization, that is about specific species, about protection, spatial continuity, so restoration and integration of nature and production. That was the 5 point of measuring he incorporated. In environmental protection, Brian decided to take nitrogen emission, phosphorus surplus and emission, surface water quality and ecology, ochre and sediment pollution, mitigation options for nutrients. And for farm economics, it's the soil quality, road transport, utilization of machinery, regulation, flexibility. And for outdoor recreation, it's public access, recreation facilities and trails, accessibility, use of knowledge, recreational use. And for my field of research, which is rural development, it was the quality of everyday life, entrepreneurship, community identity, house prices, and socioeconomic profiles. So that was, so what we did was that we went through with each our own method in those 5 areas, and then we sort of gave them a 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5 point.
Who did that?
We did.
You did?
Yes, for my own field. And
Okay.
how did I do that? From my expert knowledge.
So it's filled in by expert knowledge and
Yes.
not by the experiences of the inhabitants or the 12 persons at the table.
No,
Why?
because I know a lot about community development. Here I need to speak for myself.
Yeah, that's okay.
I've been 20 years rural researcher. I spent half of my town doing ethnographic work in some rural areas.
Yes.
So I am a lot up there. So I know what is important for rural development. And when I go around in an area, I know, I can see quality of life. How can I see that? Is there any meeting point with practice? Is there any art? Is there any notes on at the grocery what is going on? So if nothing is going on, I will know that people will often not have a very strong local identity, because you can sort of see, again, this is my, so this is a quality measure. So what I did was, and the other did that as well, but I did it inside my field. I went around to those involved areas suggested by the municipalities, tried to see, okay, if we have a multifunctional land consolidation, if we're moving around with the land here, what is the potential for improving for instance, the quality of everyday life? What is the potential of increased small-scale entrepreneurship, farm sales, etc.? So what is the potential if we change the way land are put together? For instance, what is the potential for having land with very external production and having sheep and cows closer to the villages, because we know then people are going for a walk and they will stop up and talk. So what is the potential in this area if we change the use of land and the ownership of land?
No doubt that you can have, as an expert, a lot of objective measures and also objective
I don't have any objection.
information about what's the best of what's the potential of the area.
I don't.
But why did you confront the inhabitants with your people in the villages with that?
Not at all, because it was not my job. My job was to develop indicators, and my job was to have an idea how much can this improve if we are going to change the way land is put together. It was not it's not my role to make people do it. It's not my role to engage people. It's
Who
not.
did it?
Nobody did.
Nobody.
No, but that maybe is one of the objections I have to this project. But I need to sort of keep clear of this. My role is to find out how to measure multifunctional land consolidation, and those parameters or indicators I've chosen, I know for sure from literature and from my experiences that they are very important. And I could also, from my experiences, I would say that it